It's here. Finally, it's the end of the year. And in tradition, it's that time of year to reflect on all that has passed, the good, the bad, and all that lies in between. And for those involved in media criticism in any way, knows that it's that time of year to reflect on everything we've seen and experienced and really find what resonated with us the most and really what failed to make a lasting impression. So today, I'd like to take the time with you all to discuss films of the last year and give my own personal little take on each and every one of them. Assess the films that flourished in 2022 as well as the ones that floundered. However, I'm going to be real with you all here. Writing is hard. I've gone back and forth with these reviews many times, and there's just something that's not really working about it. I've started writing, deleted what I had, and restarted over and over again, but yet, even after weeks of work, nothing. I've thought about winging it as far as the recording goes, but that didn't really work either. I've even thought about just shelving the entire video. But I don't really want to do that. I want to make something again. I want to entertain those who have enjoyed and supported my channel for the last year. Give them something that I've put a lot of work into just to let them know that I appreciate them. With that being said, the solution, I think, is obvious. I'm going to let a machine write my reviews. I mean, it's the same, right? I mean, I'm technically reading over what's written for me and saying the words. I believe in them. There's some human element to it. And hey, AI art is pretty big right now, so why not be ahead of the curve and do the exact same thing, but for film reviews? So with that elephant in the room addressed and out of the way, let's get down to business and discuss what my thoughts are about the films of 2022, written by an AI program. The Batman is a movie that defies expectations. It's not just another superhero movie or another Batman movie. It's a story about a man who has lost everything, his family, his friends, his home, but who still fights for justice in a world that he barely understands anymore. In Robert Pattinson's portrayal of Bruce Wayne, we see the character at his most vulnerable and his most honest. We see him at his best and worst moments as he struggles to find meaning in life that just left him feel empty. Zoe Kravitz also brilliantly captures the spirit of Catwoman as she manages to be both a powerful and vulnerable foil for Batman. Together, they manage to overcome impossible odds in order to save each other from themselves and from their past in this beautiful film that will leave you absolutely breathless. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse Madness is the latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It follows the titular character Doctor Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, as he travels across dimensions and universes to stop an evil entity from consuming all of reality. As with most MCU movies, this one's plot isn't really too complicated. It's also pretty predictable. But that doesn't mean it isn't worth watching, and in fact, I go as far as say it's one of the best films in the MCU so far. The visual effects are amazing, and Cumberbatch gives a great performance as Doctor Strange. He really shines when he gets to show off his powers, which are some of the most creative we've seen in superhero movies yet. Overall, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse Madness is an entertaining watch when you're looking for something lighthearted, but it still manages to keep you engaged throughout, even if it does have its flaws. This is going better than I expected. Why hasn't someone done this before? I am so smart. So smart. English degree looks like it's finally paying off. Finally. As a fan of James Cameron's work, I was very excited to see Avatar: The Way of Water, and I wasn't disappointed. The world building was amazing and the characters were all so compelling. I really found myself drawn into their stories and rooting for them every step of the way. This is an action-adventure movie in which the audience gets to experience the world through the eyes of a young human girl named Katara, who finds herself on an alien planet called Pandora, where she meets a waterbender named Sokka and an earthbender named Toph. Together, these three friends must save their family from warring tribes on Pandora while trying to find out why they were sent there in the first place. Wait, what? This review is spoiler-free. Marvel's Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever is a thrilling, emotional ride that I would recommend to anyone who wants to see some of their favorite characters return in a story that has been very well thought out and executed. The movie picks up right where it left off, making you feel like you've never left Wakanda. It's action-packed, it's emotional, and it does justice to the legacy of Black Panther. I think what makes this movie so special is its ability to take characters from other movies and put them in the world of Black Panther so seamlessly. It would have been so easy for them to just do a standalone film with only new characters, but instead, they took advantage of bringing back old favorites like Bucky Barnes, played by Sebastian Stan, and Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, because that's what makes this movie so great. It pays homage to everything that came before while still feeling fresh and new. I didn't know they were in that movie. Top Gun: Maverick is a thrilling movie that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It follows the story of Maverick, a fighter pilot who's struggling to adjust to his new role as an instructor at Top Gun. His relationship with his father, who is also a fighter pilot but also retired, is strained after he crashed his plane and nearly died from a mission. Maverick's reckless behavior puts him at odds with his commanding officer and friend, Iceman. The action scenes are exciting and well choreographed. The film has some excellent performances from its cast, including Tom Cruise as Maverick and Miles Teller as Goose. Rest in peace. The music is also great with hits from Queen, Kenny Loggins, Berlin, George Benson playing throughout the movie. I give this movie a 5 out of 5 stars because it has everything that I love about action movies. Thrilling scenes full of intense action paired with great music that just makes me want to dance in my seat. Jurassic World Dominion is a movie that takes the Jurassic Park franchise to a whole new level. The cast is exceptional and the storyline is so compelling. I love the fact that they chose to go with a different approach and make this movie more realistic than its predecessors. There were no dinosaurs running around freely. There were no dinosaurs eating people. And there were certainly no dinosaurs flying through the air. This movie was about survival and how far humans will go to protect themselves from extinction. It also explored what it means to be human and what it means to be an animal in today's world. I would highly recommend this film for anyone who loves action movies or science fiction films. Jordan Peele's latest film, Nope, is a bold look at the state of our country in 2022. It's a dystopia that feels like it could happen tomorrow, and it's terrifying. The movie is set in 2022. That's not far off from now, but it feels like it could be another world altogether. The scenes are dark and bleak, with no hope to be seen. Even though I knew this was just fiction, it just felt too close for comfort at times. Like, I was watching something that could happen any day now if we don't get our act together soon. The movie, which takes place in an alternate version of America where all black people are forced to live on reservations, follows a woman named Sasha, played by Dakota Fanning, as she tries to escape her fate as a slave and find freedom. But she has to contend with the constant threat of being caught by the white overlords who have taken over the land and turned America into a police state. There's a lot to say about Marvel's Morbius. For one thing, it's hard to believe that the movie was made by the same people who brought us Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse and Doctor Strange. The special effects are good, but they're not nearly as good as those other films. And at times, it feels like the actors are just reading off cue cards, which is fine for some movies, but it's not what I would expect from Marvel. But what really bothered me about this movie is the story itself. It starts off with an interesting premise. Dr. Michael Morbius, played by Jared Leto, is trying to find a cure for his vampirism. But then there's this whole thing with his wife being a vampire hunter and his girlfriend being a vampire and her brother being a vampire hunter too. And then there are those rogue vampires who want to kill all humans. What? It just doesn't make any sense. And then there are all these plot holes. Why does no one notice when Michael changes into a bat? How does he just get so many people to help him find blood samples? Why does he even need all blood samples when he can just drink from people directly? Why? Ticket to Paradise is an underrated gem. The story is about a man who loses his job and decides to take a cruise with his wife. But the twist is that he takes the wrong boat and ends up on a cruise ship with criminals. This movie is funny, action-packed, and has a great cast. I highly recommend it. Is that what that movie's about? I didn't even see this one. Actually, I don't even think I saw a trailer for this one. Wait, is Clooney still even doing stuff? Don't Worry, Darling is a story about a young woman who loses her sister in a car accident and her journey to find meaning after that loss. The film takes place in England in the 1980s and has a very distinct style. It's very colorful, but with a muted palette that gives the film an almost melancholy feel. The main character's name is Lucy, and she lives with her parents. Her father is an artist who makes paintings of people's faces, and her mother writes poetry. Her father is played by Harry Styles, who does such a great job playing this role that it's hard to remember he isn't actually an artist himself. Florence Pugh plays Lucy's sister Karen, and she's also very talented as an actress. She plays the role of someone who has died so well that at times it feels like she really has died. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a movie about a woman who wants to solve the problem of climate change. She starts by making friends with a tree. Wait, is that it? Nope, that's it. I don't even think any of that Thor: Love and Thunder is a film that has been met with mixed reviews. The movie follows the story of Thor, who must balance his responsibilities as the leader of Asgard, while also being a single mother. It also features a new character, Valkyrie, who is bisexual and struggles with her identity. The film is directed by Natalie Portman, and stars Cate Blanchett as Hela, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, aka Thor Z9000, and Idris Elba as Heimdall. Critics gave the movie an average of 4 out of 5 stars on Rotten Tomatoes. However, audience gave it an average rating of 2 out of 5 stars on IMDb. One critic said that although she appreciated the representation of LGBTQ+ characters in this latest Marvel film, she also felt like the plot was not really well developed. The critic also recommended that Marvel spend more time developing their stories instead of introducing new characters or adding more special effects to each film in order to keep audiences interested in what happens next. There's truth in there somewhere. I'm not a movie critic, but personally, I know what makes a good movie. A good plot with interesting characters and a clear goal, a sense of humor, the more the better. Something to viscerally connect with, like action or emotion. Some sort of emotional payoff at the end of the film, even if it's just relief. Minions the Rise Crew has all of these things. Minions: The Rise of Gru has all of these things. It's a great movie for kids and adults alike. You'll laugh out loud several times and be surprised by how much you care about these little yellow guys. They're so cute and funny. The plot is pretty straightforward. Gru is just trying to get his hands on an evil serum that will turn him into a supervillain so he can rule the world. But minions don't want him to do it. They want him to be happy and follow his dreams, even if it means giving up his chance at world domination. So they try to set out on an adventure to find a new way for Gru to achieve his goals without turning evil. And along the way, they learn some valuable lessons about friendship and overcoming adversity. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a fun, campy movie. It's not a serious take on the Sega game, but it's not trying to be one either. The movie is more like a parody of a Saturday morning cartoon, complete with bad jokes and cheesy one-liners. The story follows Sonic and his friends as they try to save the world from Dr. Robotnik and his evil plan to take over Mobius by turning the animals into robots. The plot is pretty simple. It doesn't really require much thought or engagement from the audience. The characters are pretty archetypal. Sonic is the brave hero who will do anything for his friends. Tails is the smart one who always saves the day with his inventions. Knuckles is strong but dim-witted. Amy Rose is beautiful and kind. Robotnik is evil and wants to destroy everything in sight, and etc. But even though these characters are pretty basic, they work well together on screen because they each have their own personality quirks that make them stand out. Tails likes science experiments, Knuckles has a crush on Amy Rose, etc. Lyle Lyle Crocodile is a film that takes you on a journey with characters you can't help but root for. The plot is simple. Lyle, played by Shawn Mendes, is a lonely crocodile who desperately wants to make friends and be loved by others. But when he meets a young boy named Lyle, played by Shawn Mendes, the two become unlikely best friends, and then something more. What the fuck? The film is directed by Shawn Mendes, who also stars as Lyle in the titular role, a role that was initially considered for Javier Bardem until he found out his name was already taken. Oh no! It's funny, says director Shawn Mendes, because people think it's weird that I'm also playing myself in this movie. But who else could play you, says Javier Bardem. No one. Dog is a movie about a dog. It stars Channing Tatum as a dog, who is also Channing Tatum. The premise of the movie is that it takes place in space, but there are no humans in it, just dogs and one cat. The film starts out with some music, and then some dogs appear on screen. They're all wearing helmets with visors on them, so you can't really see their faces very well, but they look kind of like dogs. And you can tell that they're dogs because they have ears and tails. After that scene, the next thing you see is some more music playing on spaceships where Channing Tatum plays his guitar and sings along to it while also playing air hockey with himself while he also becomes an astronaut. Hold on. Also an astronaut who works on this spaceship full time, but also he has a lot of free time to do whatever he wants because he's not working at all on it. He's not working at all except for playing music and playing air hockey against himself because he doesn't want any other job because he is a rich astronaut who also takes money from his own company, which makes lots of money because which makes lots of money from selling stuff like clothes or shoes or something like that. I don't know if this experiment is working all that well. Well, that was certainly something, wasn't it? I just wanted to take this last bit of time to simply say thank you, not only for making it to the end of this video, which was a very dumb but very fun little thing to do while working on other projects, but for all who have watched and liked my videos and subscribed to Static Wonderland for the last year. For many small creators like myself, it can sometimes feel very disheartening to spend weeks on a video and for it to get no attention, which can lead to a whole lot of doubt and possibly giving up. But the support from everyone has been so valuable and has contributed to this channel's growth over the last year, so I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I can't wait to see you again very soon.